Yo, what's up guys? We're continuing from where we left off in the last episode. It's episode 7. Let's get started. So, just quickly to summarize, last time we cleaned up some stuff. We added these buttons right here. And then we added this thing in here as well as the plating, if I remember correctly. Well, anyways, we finished off these details in here. So in today's episode we are actually very close to finishing modeling part. So today we are going to model this mechanism right here. All this mechanism, and then we are going to maybe even make the propeller, we'll see. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So let me just find a good image, something like this. Yep, this will work. So let's get started. We will create this thing right here. And then here we have this kind of screw. So for this, we are going to use just the hard ops screw. But if you don't have hard ops, again, I really suggest getting it. If not, then yeah, I mean you can just make it simply. I'll show you a quick way of doing it. If you want better looking result, if you would need higher quality, then maybe there is a better way of doing it than what I'll show you. But for this purpose, you don't really need to make it very high quality, because it's I mean you don't need detail in here. It won't be really visible. So let's get started. So first I'm going to add a cylinder. And how many verts do we need? We learned that in the last episode. Yes, just around 16 will be good, because it's not visible part. I don't want to repeat myself too much, but yep, just in case you forgot. Okay, there we go. So that's something like this, maybe a bit smaller. Scale it, and this time I didn't forget to bring my references and open Scribe, so that's an achievement. I mean, just eyeball this. You don't really need to make it really straight. If you wanted to position it exactly in the center right here, you could go ahead and select maybe this. Well, it's kind of difficult actually. In this case, you would need to maybe select the whole loop in here, like this, something like this, and then bring the cursor like this, just Shift S, and cursor, where is it, object, okay, so cursor to edge, this one, and this will basically bring the cursor exactly in the center of this, of our selection. And then we will just select this object and press Shift S, and then selection to cursor. That's what we would do. But in this case, just eyeball it, it's fine. Maybe make it a bit smaller, something like that, and drop it, give it some beveling. There we go. And then we will need to make the screw. So let's just reuse this part. Always reuse stuff. You don't want to recreate stuff. Actually, it's a bit bigger. So I'm going to press S and then hold Shift and press X to make it something like this. To scale it on only Z and Y axis and except X axis. And there we go. So now there it is. How do we make this part right here? That's what we were making. We already made this part right here. That's this part, and now this part right here, the screw part. So to make it, you just gotta go into edit edge mode and just give it some bevels like this. So in our case, it's quite dense. It's quite a dense screw, this thing right here. So give it generous amount of subdivisions, and then just simply press Ctrl B to bevel it. Give it one more segment in the center. So here we get overshooting bevel right here. So what we can do is just press G to move it, and just G and X in my case on X axis, and then Control minus. So now we just have all these selections, and then press Alt S to scale it along these axes right here. And you are going to see some weird stuff going on in here, but don't worry, that's absolutely fine. It's just bevel acting up on us. Yeah, so for this bevel, it will be a bit tricky to get right. Let's see here. Let's just isolate it and let's see what's going on in here. Okay, so it's not overshooting all the way until somewhere here. So that's actually enough. That's all we actually need. Okay, wait, isn't that... It's overshooting here immediately though. Yeah, I mean, maybe just move it a little bit further like that. Okay. How many segments do we get? What do we got? We got 3 segments. Okay, so this would look smooth. To be honest, let's just keep it at 3 segments. Give it a little bit bevel and this will be actually fine. So again, this works if it's small object, you see, like you'll never ever notice that something is wrong with it, and we are going to bake it, so it doesn't really matter. I mean, we are going to bake this detail, so why don't we just add a shit ton of beveling like this? Just make it smooth. I gave it, I don't know, 12 segments. Just make it very smooth, because we won't keep it later. So like this, that's very smooth. Okay, and now the other option with add-ons. I mentioned you before that I'm going to show you, and actually it turns out that it's not hard ops, it's actually machine tools. So let's just copy this one, and that's how you would do it with add-ons. So basically select area where you want thread to be, so just select this whole loop, and if you just press Q, you won't see option in here. So first you need to enable it. So go into preferences and find machine tools, this one. Go to the bottom and you should see this thread option right here. See, it says easily turn cylinder faces into threads. So enable that, save preferences, you can turn it off, and now if you have this selected and press Q, you will get this, where is it? Oh, it's not actually Q, you just right click on machine tools. Yeah, you just right click on machine tools. It's been a while since I used it. It's something that you don't really use very often, but when you do need it, it comes really in handy. So add thread like this. And here you get all the settings. So you thread amount and just play with these settings until you get something good. So in our case, we need a lot of threads, and their height shouldn't be that big. They should be a bit smaller, something like this. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, you see, like this. And then let's just see what this setting changes. Okay, so this setting basically changes the transition and the end, I mean the ending. So maybe let's just make it fully go in like that. And then let's see these settings. Okay, so this is just you can move it around and just dislocate it, give it some offset, I mean. So okay, so yeah, something like this, maybe a little bit higher, something like that. Good. Okay, now our bevel is overshooting, so let's reduce it. That's how it looks without bevel. And to be honest, we don't really even need beveling on those threads at this point, so we could just go ahead and run bevel from weight right here, and just select everything, Q, and just disable this and just add weight on this edge and on this edge. That's all you need to do, and then just press Q and S mark like this. Oh no, actually it doesn't work. Okay, maybe it's in our settings. So in that case, just increase the mean bevel weight in here. Just like that. Wow, still not working. Wait. Offset amount. Okay, the amount is set to 0. That's why it's not working. Okay. Okay, I accidentally added a camera somewhere. Okay, never mind. But yeah, there we go. And now we can just bevel this edge like this. And for this one, just I guess just move it a little bit away from that thing. Okay, so the bevel, it will be still overshooting, then you can just go ahead and GX move it outside like that, because the bevel will be overshooting in there. And then this thing here, let's just fix it and just run it straight. Delete this, and that's the result that you'll get. And this area, just join that to that, actually. It will give a better result. Yeah, you could fix the same way this area again, but you get the idea. But in our case, this will work perfectly. Okay, so let's continue. Now we got some metal beam going, like this. So let's just make it. Small metal beam, again, just reuse this S and just hold shift, click X, and then do this in here. Scale it, our normal stuff. Maybe it's too long. Make it something like this. And then let me find some better images maybe of how it should look like. The further part. I don't really have many good images. Okay, in that case, let's see here. Okay, just kinda, let's just make this cone shape in here and I think we'll be fine. So let's just do it. So again, take this, overuse it, and yeah, scale it on X, increase it on all the axes, S, hold shift and X, except X axis. Let's look at it, something like this, that should be fine. Take this side, and now just we're just going to create this. So this lip in here, then it goes in, then straight, in, and straight. So let's just make that. So we just press E to extrude it a little bit. Okay, no, this one goes a little bit more in, something like this. S, shift X, scale it in. Something like that. I think, wait a second, no, it's a little bit less, something like this. And then E to extrude it one more time, extrude it a little bit, and then E somewhere in here, S, scale it in a little bit, and then E, and then leave it in here. Something like this. I think I made it too long, so let's just SX and just reduce its length like this. And then make this a little bit longer, so GX, something like that. Sharpen add bevel modifier. Why don't I see here bevel modifier? Yeah, are we running? Yeah, we're running angle, and for some reason it's not adding it here. Let me just hide this face, see what's going on. Okay, there's nothing. Then it's just bevel joking around. Maybe if we just decrease the angle. No, it still doesn't want to pick that up. Okay, interesting. It starts picking up everything. Okay. Well, in that case, let's just run weighted weight like this. Boom. And we will be good to go. Okay, so there we go. We made this mechanism in here. Now I'm looking at it and I think that it still should be a bit smaller on x-axis, something like this. And the gap in here should be something like that. Boom. That's the mechanism. And we just made this part right here. Now we need to make propellers, and it's just 3 of them. So get a good image of propeller and kinda, so these ones, they have four sides, and I think in our case we just need 3. Yeah, we need 1, 2, 3, only 3. So we can just do that. Or what we could do is just simply take this image right here. I'll make a screenshot, just like that. I'll make a screenshot, save it somewhere. So you just need to get an image basically, and we're just going to recreate it. Then you just press Shift A and then image and then reference. That will be fine. and you locate the image desk fan right here, boom, and you just take it. And we are going to actually get a plane, rotate it 90 degrees, put it kind of in place, and then we are going to press Ctrl 2 to subdivide it twice, and then roughly get the so your goal right here is to get this shape without adding too many additional loop cuts like this. You will need to add some, of course, but try to avoid adding a lot of those. Let's see here, would be the best case. Okay, we are going to add 2 and 2 like this. And then let's just let's just select everything, scale everything, and kind of put them in place like this, roughly like that. Now try to kind of make it relaxed like this and keep similar square size, because then we're going to get the best result. Okay, and it's kind of hard to see how it ends, so we are just going to make something like this. And now in here, let's just increase it a little bit like this. And then this guy here, we don't really need it, so what we can do, I guess, is just add some more geometry somewhere in here. Like that. Add more detail in here. Like that. And then for this one, I just move this in here, just kind of massage everything, this one in here and this one in here. Okay, so we are getting a bit of an ugly quad in here, but yeah, that's going to be actually fine, kind of equally spaced, so like that. Now it's very flat, it's very flat, so we need to see how it actually bends. So let's just look at this. So by the looks of it, this area goes out. So if we rotate the image to kind of match our propeller, something like this, so this area you can clearly see that this, or wait, it doesn't. Okay, wait a second. Okay, yeah, so you can see this part just bends out like this, meaning that this just goes out, I think. Yeah, this goes out. So let's just do the same thing and take these two, this edge, and let's just bring it out a bit, just like that. Boom. And then for this area, it goes out a little bit as well. Well, I'm not I'm not some kind of engineer, or I don't know exactly how propellers work, but it would be actually better to get a side view. Okay, there we go. I'm just being dumb. That's how that's how it looks. I mean, yeah, we made the same thing pretty much. This one, well, maybe we'll move this a little bit too much out. This one is a little bit out, and this one is similar thing, just a little, just small curve like that. And then it doesn't sit straight, so you see it sits not straight like that, it sits kind of diagonally like this, so just keep that in mind. And we don't need this anymore actually, and let's just take this Q and add modifier, just simple solidify modifier, just add it, and then bevel, just give it a small bevel like that. Well, it's way too thick. That's one thing, the bevel is way too large, so let's just shrink down the thickness of it. Should be something like this, actually even smaller. So let's reduce the bevel even more and reduce this even more, something like this. Yeah, that will work. And now we just need to rotate it. It's in Z axis like this. Scale Z0. Press S Z -1, and then rotate by 180. So we get this kind of shape right here. And then just roughly, I guess, just position it like that. Let's take a look at our references again. See how it looks like, how it should look like. So yeah, something like that. Yes, so something like this. That's good. And now the size of it. So we got the size completely wrong in this case. It should be way larger. And maybe just to get right proportions, we can just simply drag and drop our image too. And then just kind of scale it in to see how big it should be. Just position it kind of straight. Yeah, you see our scale was absolutely off. And our rotation was absolutely off as well. So yeah, that's why you need some examples. Because yeah, if you get the scale wrong, you're done. It will be, you'll get very bad results later. And maybe just go back, and for this one, you can actually just simply Shift D and duplicate it, rotate it, put it in place. In this case, that will be faster. We already learned radial array, so there is no point in really using it again. Sometimes it's just faster to just simply do it like this. Boom. That's all we needed. Let's just hide this image for now. Maybe we'll need it later. Bring them in place. And I'm not sure exactly where they should be positioned. They should be positioned on this edge right here, on the pretty much on the first edge, somewhere in here. So just GX like this, and that's that. So we got this done. Now I think we are going to finish actually everything fully. So let's just go ahead and add this one. Add this this grid. Now we are going to add simple geometry in here, and we are going to create these gaps from alpha map. So that's going to be material. So for now, just simply, yeah, just simply add it, and that's it. I'm going to show you how. So okay, so this shape, it's kind of sphere and just a little bit extruded. So we're going to make half of it and just duplicate it to the other side. So let's just add a quad sphere, maybe reduce the subdivision amount, take this, cut half of it off as X and make it something like this, so we could get the starting curve. So like this, E to extrude, EX, and scale it a little bit. Or actually, let's just make the terminal red. So just like this, and extrude one more, E to extrude, G, like this, like that. Actually, there should be a bit bigger bend. So let's just actually immediately make it straight like that. Go straight and maybe a little bit up like this. Maybe too much, something like that. Yep. And then we need to make the lip in here. So just simply E and then S, shift and the X to scale it up like that. And then G and move it a little bit in the side like that. Now simply duplicate it. So what you can do, it's going to mirror from this point right here. If you move in object mode, it's going to move everything. This point will move together with everything. If you go into edit mode and select everything and GY, now it's not moving. So just go ahead and position it kind of in the center like that, and just mirror it to the other side. We can use machine tools. Just go into geometry, click Alt X, and just swipe right. Boom. And now here we will have double edges, I think. No, actually they are just glued together already. Okay, good. Yeah, just be mindful if you get some weird edges all the time. And actually S and just S, shift and X, and just scale it a little bit in. because I made the lip way too large, and just the whole thing is way too large, so just scale on x-axis like that. It should be something like this, and maybe this now a little bit bigger, and just add this gap in here. And I see that these areas, they should be flat actually. Yeah, so just take this center and this center in here, and just kind of S, X, and just make everything flat. Maybe just Control plus to select even more, you see, on both sides. And then S, X, and scale everything even more, like that, because it's way flatter. And then just sharpen everything. It won't really work sharpening everything like this. So we need to adjust the bevel. Let me just see. Yep. So normals, and just increase them. For some reason it's not shading this smooth. Why is it? Maybe some custom normals. Huh. Okay, that's interesting. Sharpness, increase that. Nope, still not working. Okay, that's interesting. S mark. Okay, yeah, so it was just marked as sharp. That's what it was. It was this option when you just go into edge mode and you click mark sharp. That's what it was. And by just simply clicking, selecting it and clicking Q and S mark, we removed it. And when we click S mark, we decide what happens in here. If you just click Control tilde and bevel, I mean, it's sharpening and shading here. You decide what happens. So that S sharp function will add crease, bevel weight, and sharp. In this case, it was this sharp that was messing us up. Okay, there we go. And just move it in place, and I think I just snap somewhere in there next to that area right there. And let's just see if we made a scale right, a bit thinner, something like this. I'm just looking at this image at this distance and then where this thing is located. So now it's kind of close to here, and now we just got one last piece, which is right here. Okay, wow, we just got one image of it, which is this logo right here. So we are going to add our own logo in here, or if you wanted, you could actually reuse that, but yeah. So let's just go ahead and add a quad sphere, reduce the subdivisions. Actually, let's just keep it at 2 subdivisions. Again, just delete this half like we did before. Or actually, I think it's, I mean, yeah, there is some curvature to it. Okay, yeah, let's just keep it at that then. And then just SX and scale it on X-axis by a lot. And then, because it has small curvature, and then just this, extrude it, and like that. Maybe just make a face right here as well, and then just sharpen it. Like that. And I think it's going to be right. Just scale it down, and okay, this time we're going to position it accurately. So this is the center, so we're going to do this. So this, and so I mean Shift S, and then the origin, not origin, the 3D cursor to vert, and then this, Shift S, and then selection to cursor. Okay, now it lost its rotation. That's simple. You just rotate it back in place, move it out a bit, like this, and that's done for this thing. Now the scale of it, it's not too important. You can hide this just so we could see it like that. I think it should be maybe a bit smaller. Okay, why is it not in the center though? I think it's not in the center as well. Okay, yeah, we need to position everything in the center. So just GZ and this should be in the center roughly. Okay, yeah, now just hide it, and let's see here. Okay, let's see here. This should be somewhere here, I guess. Maybe a bit. Okay, so it should be here. There we go. It's kind of getting the scale right. Boom. And now I think that it's too large. This thing is way too large. So just S and then just hold Shift and press X and just reduce its size. So it's something like this. And then this is way too large as well. So just make it a bit smaller like that and move it into the place right here. Yep, so like that. And then this thing in here, yeah, the scale matches it roughly. Yep. So then the propellers, they should be smaller. Now if you wanted to scale them each individual like this, it wouldn't work. So just go ahead and select individual origins. Now you can actually scale them properly and just position them into place. This one was kind of right already. So boom, there we go. Kind of roughly getting the proportions right. Okay, there we go. Good. And now just move it in here. Now it might look a bit off still, but it's because of visual weight. Here is just a net, and we got here a full-on just mass, just a lot of mass closed. Just huge object basically. So we will create this net with alpha map so that we don't have that much geometry in here, because it is a game asset. So yeah, so that's about it actually. We are done with our modeling. This should be smaller though. It's a good thing that I noticed it. And just S and the Shift X. It should be way smaller. Yeah, it's good that I noticed it. S Shift X, and it should be something like this. Maybe a bit bigger. Okay, boom. Okay, so there we go. So that's pretty much it actually. That's the modeling part done. Let's just quickly see, maybe we missed something. There is this small detail, but and these things right here, we could model those in, but this kind of requires proper geometry. Okay, here we could just draw this in. This doesn't matter, but this requires some geometry. We could add some cubes, I guess, for some details, but to be honest, it's just very small detail. The same thing like with this whole, no one cares about them, to be honest. In game, like for game assets, if you're making game assets, I mean, you could add those, but I mean, it's pretty straightforward. You just make it that just for the sake of time, and it's a bit more optimized, I guess. So here we go. That's actually done. Congratulations. And yeah, in the next episode we are going to start optimizing everything, because right now it's just a mess in here. We got a lot of pieces, a lot of stuff to fix, and yeah, so I hope you got this far. If you like the course, just subscribe, give it a like, just comment. If you got some questions, feel free to write them in the comment section below. And yeah, as always, see you guys in the next episode. Bye.